Grand Theft Auto is one of those games that you can pour hours into because of how much content there really is in the game. You have the main storyline, the side quests, the collectibles, the online component, and of course, the minigames. Rockstar always had a habit of putting effort into the smallest things, and I don't think they get enough credit for this. The tennis and golfing in GTA 5 is a prime example of that. Two minigames that most players will probably never even touch in their lifetime, but they put real effort into it for no reason at all. They didn't have to, but they did it anyway. And the small minority of players that do play these minigames can really appreciate that. For instance, the golf ball in GTA 5 is affected by wind, which is constantly changing throughout the game. The bullets in GTA 5 aren't even affected by wind, even when sniping. Do you see what I mean? Keep in mind, these are also the same people that made table tennis. But if you look back on the older games, the minigames were a lot more goofy and fun despite being completely ridiculous and unrealistic. Is there any reason a psychotic fugitive on the run with a lust for revenge would spend his free time driving RC cars in a park on a nice sunny day? I mean, I know he's blowing people up, but still, it's ridiculous. Vice City had arguably one of the best minigames in the GTA franchise, and they all took place at the Hyman Memorial Stadium. Dirt Ring is the more laid back of the bunch. It's something I play when I just wanted to calm down and chill and not really think too much. The objective is to ride around the obstacle course and reach all the checkpoints, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a nice change of pace from the chaos of free roam and the storyline to just sit back and chill and cruise on a dirt bike while listening to those classics 80s in this big dome. It really makes you feel like you're in a big stadium full of people. Blood Ring is exactly what you would expect. It's a demolition derby. I can't count how many hours I've killed playing this as a kid. And while I remember constantly raging and throwing my controller back then, going back to this now, I'm surprised at how easy it is. I don't know if the PS2 version was just harder and the PC version is nerfed in some way. I really don't know, but I just remember taking a beating every time I played this as a kid. Constantly getting flipped over, my car blowing up, freaking out at the game, throwing my controller across the room, but I had a lot of fun in it. Most of my hours, though, were spent in Hot Ring, and that is the original foundation for the Super Sports Series update we got for GTA Online back in 2018, if you guys remember. It's like NASCAR, except everyone's cars are constantly blowing up, and if you get caught in a crash, you're better off bailing because you aren't going to survive the explosions. But don't worry, they made sure to add a pit stop to repair your car, even though it doesn't work half of the time. I had a lot of fun in Hot Ring, and it does produce some funny clips. I'm sure most people didn't even know that the stadium in Vice City had a purpose in the game, and I'm shocked at the amount of dedication they put into the stadium events, considering Vice City's development time was only a year long. Vice City came out 1 year after GTA 3. So to think how much stuff they put in that game and how much effort they really put into these side missions, these mini games, it's amazing. Then you have this. I don't even know how to describe it. I don't even know why it's in here. I think up until we got trophies for the PS4 version of Vice City, we didn't have a name for this minigame, but we do now. It's called Keepy Uppy Beach Ball. Actually, I just realized I'm wrong after a quick Google search. Apparently, it was right here in the stats menu the entire time. Why did Rockstar go so far to keep track of the stats in the menu as if anyone would care? It's such an odd minigame. You're just bouncing a ball on top of your head, and it even has a counter and everything. I'm really starting to wonder, what is the world record for this? Okay, after another Google search, it's apparently 84, but there's no video to prove that, so take that as you will. It's just some guy in GTA forums claiming he got 84. I would go for the world record, but my ball always seems to land in the ocean. Again, I just don't understand why this is in the game, why is there a stat tracker for it, and how anyone even discovered this. It's one of the oddest mini games of all time I've ever seen in a Grand Theft Auto game. And now for the #1 minigame in GTA history, San Andreas Hot Call. I mean basketball. Everyone loves basketball, right guys? Liberty City Stories is a game a lot of people never got a chance to play, and there's a reason for that. It was developed initially for the PSP, and it eventually came to PS2, but we've never had a remaster, a re-release, or even a PC version of this game. And there wasn't a lot of marketing for it back then. A lot of people don't even know these exist, Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories. The closest we ever got to a remaster for Liberty City Stories was the iOS version that came out a couple years ago. And if you connect an Xbox controller to your iPhone, and then mirror your iPhone to a TV screen, it actually plays pretty nice and looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. About About 20 or so missions into the game, we unlock a minigame called Slash TV, and it's honestly in my top 3 favorite minigames of all time. Waves of enemies rush you with chainsaws, and you'll have to defend yourself only with the weapons you walked in the boat with. So if you forgot to buy weapons before you walked on this boat, good luck surviving. You get some health and ammo drops throughout the rounds, and honestly, it reminds me a little bit, and it feels like Call of Duty Zombies. I'm not saying it's exactly the same, it's not a one-to-one comparison, but it kind of feels like it because the best strategy is to just get a train going and then mow them down with a shotgun, the same way you'd run a train in Black Ops Zombies. And that's it. There's not really much more to this game mode. Once you complete all the waves, you're awarded a weapon, and you can restart from wave 1. And honestly, I'm kind of disappointed because they could have expanded upon this or even reintroduced it in the future GTA game, and they never did. It's such a simple mini game, and it's one of my favorites, but it could have been done so much better. Like all this cash they drop and then we get cash awarded, we should be able to use that cash to buy weapons instead of just having random ammo drops. The rounds should have been unlimited, which they're not. It's a very simple mini game. It could have been done better, but I still enjoy playing it. Liberty City Stories always seem to have this charm to it that the other GTA games didn't, for me personally. Maybe it's because the last time Rockstar used the 3D era Liberty City or something. I don't know. I can't explain it. Vice City Stories is another GTA game that nobody's ever heard of because it was also for the PSP and took forever to come to console. And I didn't even know it had a mini game until recently when making this video. But apparently this is where Rockstar got the idea for the golf mini game they added into the Ballad of Gay Tony, because there's a golf mini game called Swingers Club, and the objective is to swing your golf ball into a buoy. Am I saying that word right? Buoy? Anyways, it's probably one of the most boring mini games I've ever played, and I don't see why Rockstar thought anyone would want to revisit this outside of the storyline missions. It's so boring and pointless. And you know I could make a video like this without mentioning the most iconic mini game of all time. Bowling in GTA 4 is actually not bad at all. Like with other mini games in GTA 4 and GTA 5, Rockstar really puts a lot of effort into them, and I'm not ashamed to say I really enjoyed playing them. Who needs Wii Sports when you have GTA? Bowling, darts, golfing, pool, air hockey, tennis. What more could you want? And all of these game modes are fully developed and they don't feel like an afterthought. They feel like they were really thought through and developed, and like they had just so much care put into them. Well, except for air hockey. The AR are a little slow. 3 out of 3 games I had to quit because they keep getting stuck here and just having a stroke or something. I don't know. And the dumbest minigame award has to go to the Ballad of Gay Tony's champagne drink-off, if you could even call this a minigame. You just sit there spinning your analog stick over and over again until Luis pisses himself and passes out. He just like me, for real, for real. But as stupid as some of these minigames might be, and others I haven't mentioned, I'm glad we have them. I remember as a kid at one point in time, all I had was an Xbox and a copy of GTA 4. I didn't have an internet connection, I didn't have cable TV, I didn't have any other games to play, just GTA 4. But there was so much to do in that game, I never got bored. If I didn't want to play the story or free roam, I can go bowling, play darts, watch stand-up routine from Cat Williams or Ricky Gervais at the comedy club, or even watch the in-game TV. Seriously, I remember one day, me and my brother was bored at home, and we had no cable, no internet. This is the time before smartphones, of course. We were just kids, and we literally sat there and put on GTA 4 and watched the in-game TV because we had no cable. But it was enjoyment. Like, we really enjoyed it. It was entertaining. It was funny. But that's all we had. We had literally nothing else to do. And of course, Rockstar didn't have to add any of these things to make a good GTA game. Most people that play GTA don't even touch the side content or the minigame, but Rockstar did it anyways, and that kid part of me will always appreciate what they did. It wasn't always perfect, but they gave us something more to do when mom wouldn't get us a new game. We already played through the storyline 10 times. So for that, I'm really grateful, and I look back on my time as playing GTA as a kid with no internet connection before a time with smartphones and things, and I look back on it and I really have fond memories of these mini games because they added so much more playtime for me, especially when I didn't have any other games available to play to me at the time, and when I didn't have cable or internet connection. This is all I had to do. I was so glad there was so much to do in these games besides just the main storyline and drive around in cars and getting cop chases. So I'm really grateful. I look back on them fondly, and yeah, I just want to talk about mini games. I know it's a random video, but you know what? It's my channel. I'll talk about what I want to. Thanks for watching.